Hi everyone, welcome to my new video. Today I want to discuss Pareto principle in relation to human productivity and wealth distribution. This topic came up in the comments to one of my videos, and this is the point that Jordan Peterson uses a lot when he defends his economic view. He recently posted a couple of videos about that. One of them is titled "Why 1% of the world's population owns 45% of wealth," and the other one is titled "Here's Why Blaming Inequality on Capitalism is Absurd." You can easily find both of them on his channel. Let's take a closer look at this argument and discuss whether it's reasonable to use Pareto principle as a defense of wealth inequality created by the implementation of neoliberal economic policies. So Pareto principle in regards to productivity states the following. Square root of all the employees do half the work. So if you have 10 employees, then 3 of them do half the work. And if you have 100 employees, then 10 of them do half the work, and so on. Some people define this principle a little differently. They describe it as 80-20 rule, which means 20% of people do 80% of the work. I'm not sure how much of it is factual, and it doesn't really matter. I don't care. We all know that humans differ in productivity a lot, and there is no question about that. But here's the problem with this argument. The most productive individuals and the wealthiest individuals in the late-stage unchecked capitalist system are not the same people. That's why justifying current wealth distribution primarily with Pareto principle is absurd. Let me give you some proof. So almost all the countries have mixed economies. I know that. However, let's look at countries that are heavily tilted towards capitalism. Let's look at USA, for example. The studies show that the best predictor of financial success is the wealth of your parents and not IQ or conscientiousness or grades. The link to one of the studies will be in the description. Or to illustrate my point, I can give you a quick example from my own life. I live in a pretty typical capitalist country. I've studied in a regular school where most people were very average, and later I also studied in the best school of the country and was surrounded by extremely smart and talented people. So I know all kinds of people. And let me say that generally geniuses are doing good, but people born into wealth are doing better. IQ and conscientiousness do matter, and that's great. I want them to matter, but they do not matter as much as wealth of your parents. One more thing I want to mention about this whole myth of capitalist meritocracy. Very often market rewards shock value and pointless drama rather than competence, while simultaneously punishing people who want to better themselves and get an education. There's music that is popular because it's shocking and not because it's good. There are people who got famous and wealthy because of sex tapes. There are even people who are getting rich by selling farts in a jar. I'm not kidding. There's a woman who made a lot by selling her farts. Apparently it's a thing right now. And I'm not here to shame people who do these things. They did not invent this game. They're just playing it, and if someone wants to sell their farts for a living, that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying this to show that unchecked capitalism punishes you for getting an education and rewards for shameless shock value. That is not true meritocracy, in my opinion. I often feel like people defending capitalist meritocracy are probably either not that bright or ideologically possessed, or just simply are manufacturing your consent to keep things as they are for some self-serving reason. Anyway, Jordan Peterson says he wants equality of opportunity, and I agree with him on that. I want that too, but the system he's advocating for does not deliver that. So strange. Socialist policies are absolutely vital to get anything resembling meritocracy. Things like universal health care, living minimum wage, free education for capable students, some type of worker participation in management of the company. For example, right of first refusal that allows workers to buy out a company when the original creator goes away. or co-determination law that is in place in Germany, where workers get a seat at the board of directors in every large company. Things like that. And once we have something resembling meritocracy, then no one should really cry about inequality. It's absolutely fine to have more money if you're actually more competent. These socialist policies will not get rid of inequality completely, and it's not a bad thing. I don't want Soviet-style equality of outcome, but they will certainly diminish it. And diminishing inequality is important for two major reasons. First reason why giant inequality is terrible for all of us is because it will lead us all into crisis as time goes on. That is a great point made by economist Yanis Varoufakis. Inequality created by unchecked capitalism and automation is going to inevitably lead to a fall of aggregate demand because most people will not have enough money to spend, which means rich people will be afraid to invest, which is going to exacerbate the crisis even more, and we all going to suffer from it. Second reason why diminishing inequality is important is just because it's better for democracy. Unchecked late-stage capitalism and democracy just do not go together. Concentration of wealth in the hands of a tiny group of people makes it likely that this money is going to find its way to political, judicial, and media power one way or the other. And it's already happening in so many countries, where people only have a choice to vote for candidates that are pre-approved by the elites, or billionaires control what people can and cannot say, or where money can buy you all judicial power in the world, like in the case of Steven Donziger and Chevron. Anyway, to sum it all up, I think Jordan Peterson is an interesting person. I find a lot of his insights valuable. However, when he speaks about economics, I feel like he's trying to solve economic problems with psychology, and it is very often a wrong tool for the job. It's helpful, but it's not enough. We've got to take into consideration that the best predictor of economic success in capitalist system is wealth of your parents and not your merit. And we've also got to take into consideration that gigantic inequality has some serious political and economic downsides for all of us. When I make videos about Jordan Peterson, I really don't want to criticize him personally. I don't know what his motives are. I don't know what's going on in his head. I really just want to criticize his ideas because he's so influential, not only in his own country, but all over the world, really. I know plenty of people who are just big fans of his, and it's a little scary.